From a macro standpoint, in recent years, we've been witnessing significant changes in inflation. Understanding these dynamics behind inflation, and more importantly, how they may evolve over time, will be critical for households and the management of monetary policy. These and many other questions make it a privilege to have Robert Porter with us today.
I am very excited to introduce Rob Porter. One of my favorite papers to explain the students at the undergrad level, and this is to have impact, is the model about Green and Porter about collusion with uncertainty. And thanks to that, we were able just to study from the applied point of view phenomena, as you said, as collusion and the implication on prices in the long term. And it's a tool. It's not only an insight, it's not only research, it's a tool for antitrust authorities to continue with the process.
What I'm going to do today is focus on a specific case. It's about the generic prescription market in the US. And our paper relied heavily on the complaint that was brought by the states, in which the Justice Department joined at some point, against 19 pharmaceutical companies. Well, you might ask, well, who exactly are the customers of these things? Well, it's not the people who fill the prescriptions. Rather, the people they're selling to are the pharmacy chains or wholesalers, who in turn sell to pharmacy chains or hospitals and the like. And one thing that happened in this market, the sales between the generics and the pharmacy chains or the wholesalers, is that they'd moved from a negotiated price model to an auction model. And so in the years leading up to the formation of the cartel, more and more of these buyers were using an auction to procure their drugs. So this last thing plots profit margins as reported by three of the big players, Teva, Mylan, and Actavis. In all three cases, these margins were falling leading up to 2013, kind of in line with what was going on with prices. They took this huge jump, even well past the breaking down people's doors or arriving at people's doorsteps. Firms maintained much higher margins than they had in the immediate pre-period. What was unusual about this is how abrupt the price increases were rather than gradual. But then, of course, as the price indices adjusted, then the costs started getting passed on to the insurers. And of course, the insurers have all kinds of mechanisms at their disposal to insulate themselves. So in particular, depending on which drug you're talking about, they've either increased consumers' out-of-pocket costs, or their deductibles, or their premia. There is a potential for consumer demand response, which on the one hand is good to the extent it kind of makes the cartel less inclined to raise prices, but it's terrible from the point of view of harm above and beyond economic harm, because if people are no longer taking these prescribed medicines, you could have quite adverse health consequences. So forget the economic consequences, the health consequences were catastrophic.